the top 10 in the PFF rankings. Number 1, Justin Jefferson. Number 2, Tyreek Hill. Number 3, Jamar Chase. Number 4, CeeDee Lamb. Number 5, A.J. Brown. 6, Devontae Adams. 7, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 8, Brandon Ayuk. 9, Cooper Kupp. And 10, Deebo Samuel. So our top 5s are actually quite similar looking at yours, but maybe we can extend that a bit beyond, because it's honestly beyond the top 5 where I think the wide receiver rankings get really interesting. But where does your top 5 differ from the official PFF rankings / my rankings?
The only real spot where I differ from the PFF rankings is I have Devontae Adams at 4, and I'm not ready to take Devontae Adams out of a top 5 list in the NFL. I think I might have done the wide receiver ranking last year, and it was basically Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, tier 1, pick any of them. Like it doesn't matter. The answer is correct. Whoever you want to have at number 1. You know, if you're building a franchise, it's probably different. You're taking Justin Jefferson because he's younger. You know, if you need one guy for one game, yeah, it's probably Tyreek Hill. You know, if you need one drive, maybe it's Devontae Adams. Like whatever it is, however you want to contextualize those guys, they were in tier 1. But so I got to respect what Jamar Chase was even able to do this past year without a healthy Joe Burrow. So he is in that conversation as well. And then what CeeDee Lamb did last year, it's just the overall production. Sure, people can point to it and be like, well, he wins from the slot. It's way easier to win from the slot. Well, he's still winning at an unreal level. It's not like teams are fooled by the fact that, oh my gosh, they put CeeDee Lamb in the slot. No, they knew this was coming. They still just can't cover him. So you got to give him all the credit in the world there. I think he's an unbelievable talent at wide receiver who can not just play the slot, but also play on the outside as well. So his most productive year, double-digit touchdowns, over 1,700 yards. I think it was like 135 catches or something crazy. So Lamb, I think, is starting to creep into that conversation. But to me, I think that tier 1 is probably you're just throwing Chase into that group as well, where it's Justin Jefferson, it's Tyreek Hill, it's Jamar Chase, it's Devontae Adams, who week in and week out can look completely unguardable no matter who you're going up against. And then I think tier 2, you start to get into, you know, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, like those guys start to kind of dominate that tier 2 of wide receivers, in my opinion.
Every time I do this, I come down the same way, and I have Justin Jefferson 1, Tyreek Hill number 2, and I always second guess it after the fact. I kind of wonder, like, Tyreek Hill is the one guy in the NFL that would terrify you the most if you're a defense, I think. Like, as good as Justin Jefferson is, and he's good at everything, obviously he's a terrifying prospect to have to stop. But right. Tyreek Hill is the guy where any snap, you switch off for a millisecond, blip, touchdown. Like, he has that ability, like early career Randy Moss, right? Where if you didn't assign 3 different guys to him and roll coverage in that direction, and if you switched off for a half second, it was like a touchdown immediately. Tyreek Hill has that, and I don't know that anybody else has that to the same degree, including Justin Jefferson, including Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb. Like, he just that speed and explosiveness and acceleration just brings a different dynamic to every single snap he's on the field.
I agree, man. And that's why, like, I keep coming back to Justin Jefferson's kind of like the easy one that people just lock into as the top wide receiver. But I mean, if you're really thinking about it, who strikes the most fear? I think that it's Tyreek Hill. Yeah, it's just it's a speed that's uncoverable in so many ways. So,
and it's not one-dimensional the way, some speedsters throughout history have been, where, okay, it's a vertical threat every single play, right? But it's not the same threat underneath. It's not the same kind of threat on a bubble screen or on a jet sweep or just on a shallow drag over the middle. Like, Tyreek Hill's speed plays at all levels at all times. So everything he's doing is a threat. Like, it's not just a vertical threat that, we got to make sure we have a safety over the top. We got to make sure he doesn't run by us. Like, you also have to make sure that you have a guy like within, a yard of him when he catches the football anywhere, because like, remember that Dallas play, right? The play against Dallas, right? Where Kansas City was like down, basically a Hail Mary attempt. And instead of a Hail Mary, they just gave the ball to Tyreek Hill, and he weaved through like 4 different defenders and housed it. Like, you can't do that with other receivers. It doesn't work.
He's special. I mean, like the speed is kind of like unlike anything that we've seen in a long time. I think Randy Moss is the right comparison, right? Just because when we talk about covering guys that are elite like that, we'll always use the phrase, oh, you've got to get an extra set of eyes on him. Well, for players like Randy Moss or players like Calvin Johnson or Tyreek Hill, it's like, okay, well, it's not just an extra set of eyes. It's not just like the corner and then the safety also has to look at him. The entire defense has to. Like, you have to shift your entire defense to make sure that you're accounting for any place that Tyreek Hill can get the football. So that's whenever you're saying that kind of a phrase, that person has to be at the top or very close to the top of a wide receiver list.
Yeah, and it's like it's the different level of speed as well. Like Randy Moss had the same type of thing where he had speed that made fast guys look slow. Like there are plays in his tape where he just burns straight past a guy that runs like a 4.3 flat, right?
Right.
Tyreek Hill does the same thing. He's so fast that he makes fast people look slow. Like the plays in his tape where the ones where he's not even carrying the football, but he like runs down a 4.4 running back to celebrate with him in the end zone, like takes 5 yards out of the guy over the course of the run just to celebrate. Like he's not even going full burn. Those guys just have a different level of speed.